How much?
$800,000 for the pair.
Ooh. How much are you looking to get for it?
Realistically, for about 75,000.
The first seller walked in with a coin that immediately caught Rick's attention.
Got a 1922 proof high-relief matte finish coin. I won it at a poker game, believe it or not.
This is like one of the holy grails of American coins.
Rick explained that the high-relief design created production issues, resulting in most of the coins being melted down. For years, collectors didn't even know the coins existed, making surviving examples extremely rare.
How much do you want for it?
20,000.
What, you want 20 for it? 20,000?
It's worth it.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Let's go. No, this is worth a lot more than 20 grand. Do you mind if I call a friend to take a look at this?
Rick said the coin was one of the rarest and worth far more than the seller's asking price, so he called in an expert for more details.
This was the coin the government minted, but no one knew they minted it for like 15 or 20 years.
That's correct. None of these had transacted until 1937.
The expert confirmed the coin was perfectly legitimate and one of only a few in existence, making it extremely rare.
What's it worth?
One of these sold very recently that brought a touch over 100,000. I think this coin is worth something north of 50, but less than 100.
Rick opened with an offer of $65,000, but the seller countered at $90,000.
I think 75 is fair.
Meet me in the middle at 80.
It's a deal.
All right.
The next seller walked in with something straight out of history, a full suit of ceremonial armor.
Do you know anything about it?
I think it's from England, but I'm not too sure.
It looks real similar to like when they changed the guards at Buckingham Palace.
After examining the armor, Rick suspected it might be English, but the leather and construction indicated it wasn't very old.
By the time the 17th century rolled around, guns were getting more and more powerful, and the armor had to be so thick that it was really heavy and it just became impractical. So it became really ceremonial, especially when it came to like the royal stuff.
The seller wanted $12,000 for the armor, but Rick admitted he didn't know what it was worth, so he called in an expert to take a closer look.
Antique armor from the British Empire is always highly collectible. These guys, they're called the Queen's Lifeguard. Their only job is to guard the royal residences and the Queen of England.
Based on the crown design, the expert dated the armor to after 1952, and it even showed markings indicating it belonged to an officer.
So this helmet absolutely looks legitimate, and that looks like a serial number for the trooper. Very faintly it says lieutenant. So yeah, I think this is absolutely authentic.
After confirming its legitimacy, the expert valued the armor at around $7,500.
So what's your best price on it?
Could you do 65?
I'll give you $4 grand.
62?
I'll give you 4,500 bucks.
Could you do 55?
4,500 bucks.
You got a deal.
The next seller walked into the shop with a solid silver bust of Julius Caesar.
This is really cool. Julius Caesar, I mean, the guy had a crazy life. I mean, you got to be pretty cool to get Shakespeare to write a play about you.
The seller explained he inherited the bust after his aunt passed away.
It says right here, you got 500 ounces of silver. Silver's around 24 bucks an ounce. We're looking at least $12,000 worth of silver if you melted it down.
Right.
The seller wanted $75,000 for the bust, so with that kind of money involved, Corey decided to call in an expert.
The thing that's really neat about this is the fact that this was molded from the original marble.
The expert confirmed that the bust was the real deal, and on top of that, only 99 solid silver versions were ever made, making it extremely rare.
What's something like this worth?
When they first came out, the gallery price at the time was about $75,000, and you'll still see them on the market. For you guys, I wouldn't pay more than $50,000.
Corey explained that even though it was unique and rare, tying up that much money was difficult, so the best he could offer was $30,000.
I'm looking to get a little bit more closer towards the 50 if possible. Can we meet in the middle? 40,000?
Yeah, we can do that.
The next seller walked in with something Rick immediately recognized as special.
Holy! Got the mother of all Super Bowl rings. The biggest and baddest.
The seller explained it was a 2004 Patriots ring from Super Bowl 39, one of the biggest and heaviest rings ever made.
Where did you get this?
I'm a broker, and a gentleman came in, did a deal with me, and never came back to get it.
So what, you loaned him some money or something like that?
Yeah.
Rick checked the ring, and after comparing it to his other Super Bowl rings, he noticed the manufacturer's mark didn't look right.
So how much were you looking to get out of it?
Mid to low 20s.
I'm going to have to get somebody in here because it just doesn't look right. I want to do a little bit more research. We'll get this thing figured out.
The expert confirmed the ring was real, and also explained why the engraving looked different from other rings.
This year is a little bit different than all the other Super Bowl rings in the past. They put so much into this ring, gold, diamonds, and everything. This thing was so enormous, it didn't fit inside Jostens' normal ring engraving. engraver. They actually had to have somebody laser engrave each and every ring, as you see here.
The expert also mentioned that player-issued Patriots rings like this typically sell for $30,000 to $35,000.
So how much do you want for this thing?
22,000.
18.
I go 21.
I'll give you 20 grand.
If you go 20, you go 21.
Deal.
The next seller brought in two extremely rare pieces of early American history.
This is pretty damn amazing. The half Disney could be considered the first American coin.
Yes, very rare piece.
Rick explained that the half Disney, often called the first American coin, was minted shortly after George Washington became president, at a time when the young nation was still trying to create its own currency.
And this is the Libertas Americana. This is absolutely great. Benjamin Franklin had this commissioned in France, right?
Yes.
The second coin, the Libertas Americana, was commissioned by Benjamin Franklin in France to celebrate the alliance between America and France during the Revolution.
For the Libertas, 200,000. For the half Disney, I'm looking for 600,000. $800,000 for the pair.
Ooh. The $800,000 price was way too risky to take at face value, so Rick called in an expert to find out what the coins were really worth.
What do you think they would go for?
The 1792 half Disney, with the right buyer, would probably bring 500,000 to 600,000.
All right, and this one?
The Libertas Americana, I would say for the right buyer for this piece, $200,000 would be about right.
Although the half Disney was extremely rare, Rick decided it was too big a financial risk, so he passed on it and made an offer on the other coin.
This one, 140,000.
How about 180?
I will give you $150,000.
You couldn't do 160.
I will go 150.
At first, the seller wanted $180,000, but Rick wasn't willing to pay that much. So, after a long negotiation, they finally agreed on $150,000. The next seller walked in with one of the wildest items ever seen in the shop, a massive dinosaur bone.
So do you know what dinosaur this is from?
I don't. It was my grandfather's. I have no idea. I just know that it's a dinosaur bone.
The seller explained it had been displayed as art in her grandfather's house, but she wasn't even sure if it was real. She also mentioned that if she could make a deal, the money would go toward a mommy makeover and a trip to Hawaii.
So, how much do you want for this thing?
I was thinking 40,000.
Rick raised concerns that parts of the fossil might be plaster casts rather than real bone, so he called in a fossil expert to authenticate the piece.
This is Camarasaurus. Camarasaurus was a long-necked dinosaur that lived in the Jurassic period. Quadrupedal dinosaur, walked on 4 legs.
After inspecting the bone's weight and internal structure to tell real fossils from casts, the expert confirmed that the key pieces were authentic.
Look at that. You see that cell structure in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, this bone is definitely legit.
So the big question, what do these things go for?
If this thing came into my museum, I'd be very comfortable appraising it at $25,000.
After hearing the expert's appraisal, the seller lowered her asking price to $21,000, but Rick didn't want to pay that much. So after some negotiation, they finally agreed on $18,000. The next seller walked into the shop with what he believed was a 19th century cardinal's ring.
Why do you think it's a cardinal's ring?
One of the gemologists that I took it to do some research on it indicated that it had to be some type of religious icon.
Rick examined the ring and noted it appeared to be from a well-known French jewelry house, which could add value if the history checked out.
So how much do you want for it?
I'd love to get $6,000. I've been told by the gemologists that appraise it is that they're not the highest quality stones. I'm not trying to represent or sell this on the basis of the stone.
Rick explained that if the ring truly belonged to a cardinal, its value would skyrocket, but only if it could be verified. So he called in a museum expert for answers.
So one of the things that you want to find is some sign of the church. In here, you've got a very nice cross, almost a Maltese cross on both sides. Unfortunately, that's all you see.
The expert explained that authentic cardinal rings usually feature papal symbols. Unfortunately, the ring lacked the necessary markings, meaning it was not an official cardinal's ring.
It's a garnet. Those are emeralds. Just so you know, my jewelers in the back can make this ring for under $1,000.
Even without the religious connection, Rick was still interested because it was an antique piece from a respected jewelry maker, so he made an offer of $1,500.
And what's the best you can do?
The best I can do is $2,000.
You got a deal.
The next seller came into the shop with a unique Star Wars collectible.
It's a Star Wars action figure of Princess Leia as a hologram.
The seller said he got it from a friend who owed him money and was hoping to turn it into cash.
These are highly collectible, even the newer stuff.
Because this was 2005, almost 30 years later, and people are still collecting them.
The Star Wars is so big, people don't care if it's new or old.
The seller also mentioned that it was signed by Carrie Fisher, who passed away in 2016, which increased the item's desirability.
How much you want for it?
I'm thinking 1,000.
I have no idea. This stuff sort of boggles my mind, but I actually have a friend who is a complete Star Wars freak.
The expert confirmed the signature was 100% legitimate and noted that the figure was a Comic-Con exclusive, adding even more value beyond the autograph.
So what's it worth?
I put the value of this right at $1,000.
Really?
Absolutely. Because, can't sign it anymore. A limited number of them, especially the limited figure.
Following the expert's appraisal, the seller asked for $750, which Rick immediately declined. And after some back and forth, they agreed on $550.